Okay, Cody here for my Module 13 review. All right, so this week worked on a rocket food delivery mobile app built with React Native that allows users to browse nearby restaurants, view menus, place orders, and track past orders. So this app uses React navigation for screen transitions, Node.js backend, and features a custom UI with logos, filters, and modal confirmation. So I'm going to do a quick demonstration. So I'm using an emulator to show this, but one thing I added is if when the user on their mobile device clicks on one of these fields, it will actually move this up above the keyboard so you can see what you're entering. So we're going to log in. I added a loading spinner here. All right, so this is the first page, is the restaurant screen page. So this shows the list of the restaurants. It loads in the photo of the restaurant that's linked to the database, and it's going to show the restaurant name, the price, their rating, and then we have two drop-down filters. So we can select their star rating. So we'll do 5-star restaurants. And then here we can see we have two separate priced rating values. So you can sort that way as well. So we click on that, and it's going to take us to the restaurant menu. Here you'll have a list of the restaurant items. You'll notice it has the name of the restaurant, the price, and then the rating, the item name, the price, and then a description, which this is just the template that's in the database. So you'll notice you can't go any less than 0, and also the create order is hidden. So if we add a couple sandwiches here, you'll see that this becomes available. Hit create order, and then the modal pops up with the order confirmation, order summary, the price, and then if you click outside of it, it'll drop the modal. If you confirm, it's going to say processing, the spinner, and then order placed with the green check mark. And then I had it reroute back to this menu. I just want to show as well that if you're on this page and you click on the restaurant tab at the bottom, it is slow, but it takes us back here. If we click on order history, it's going to bring a list of the orders. So let's click on, it'll show the name and then the status. And if you click on this icon, it's going to bring up another modal, which has the name of the restaurant, the date and time stamp, the status, and then the courier, and then the information of the order. We'll click outside of there. Then if you click on the log out, I added pop up here just in case somebody accidentally clicks on that. We can cancel or we can log out, and it'll take us back to the login screen. Okay, let me just minimize this. I'll do a quick walkthrough here. Um, so this is the navigation file. So this file controls all the navigation for the app. There's a root stack for switching between the login screen and the main app, and then a tab navigator for switching between restaurants and order. And each tab has its own stack, so we can go deeper, like into a restaurant's menu. This one, if we wanted to add something later more to the order history, uh, we can add that there as well. Next, I'm going to go and show the login screen. So this is where the user enters their credentials. So it's going to check for empty fields and then send a post request to the backend. If the login is successful, the user is navigated to the main. And as you saw, I also added a spinner and error message handling for better user feedback. And then because it is JSX, uh, we have the code that's going to generate for the UI what we see. And you can see I added the logo here, some placeholders, and yeah. All right, so next I'll just run through the restaurant screen. So this is the screen that shows the list of nearby restaurants, and the users can filter by rating and price. Uh, and then we have a drop-down menu here. This is where I've added the icons, uh, the for selecting when the drop-down is. So and the restaurants are displayed in a scrollable grid. So each card shows a photo, a name, price, level, and rating. As you saw, tapping takes you to to the menu. And you'll see in all my files as well. So in the .env is where we put for the ngrok URL. So we can actually use this to call into each one. It's cleaner and it saves room. I moved all my CSS to a global styles file, and then I call it here so that can be used. All right, so the restaurant menu screen. So the screen shows all the menu items for selected restaurant, and the user can adjust the quantity of each items by using the plus and minus buttons, which I have here. So the minus and the plus. Um, and then when at least one item is selected, the create order button becomes active, opening the modal to confirm the order, which is used here, modal visible, quantities. All right, so I'm going to go to the order confirmation modal. So this modal pops up when the user confirms an order and summarizes what was selected, and it sends the order to the backend using the post request. So the modal uses props to display the selected items and quantities. I was doing some troubleshooting earlier. I'm going to get rid of these console logs, but just trying to figure out an issue of why it wasn't sending to my database. And it turns out there was something wrong in my database. So I had to reseed that and just start with a new database, which wasn't so bad. Instead of going through every single file, I'll just head over to the header. So this is a custom header, which includes the Rocket Food logo on the left, and then a logout button on the right, which takes the user back to the login screen. And I made sure that the design stayed consistent with the wireframes and the overall style. Yeah. So one thing that was also interesting that I did was I put all of the images for the restaurants into the assets, images, and then restaurant file here. And then what I was able to do is in the utilities, I created a file called restaurant images. So um, so I created this here and it exports it as an object and it matches a restaurant name in the database. So in the database, that file that's the restaurant, which is called Greek. This will actually link to the file that I've assigned it to, which is Cuisine Greek. And then by using restaurant images.greek, I'm able to pluck that file. Uh, so to get the image, and then also added a default. So each one of these has a backup. So if it can't find that, it's going to default to this one. And this also allowed me to make sure all the menu items were using the restaurant menu. Yeah, this one was fun. Got a little frustrating at times, but I'm really interested in the mobile app, so development. So this is good. And then in the next one, I guess we're going to continue with this. So I'll see you next week.